Hey, so welcome to your Expansive and Aligned Path Forward, and we are on day 2. This is the tapping video to go along with the journaling that you did already. So with the journaling exercise, you wrote out things that are making you feel overwhelmed, things that you feel like you need to control. So we're going to do some EFT tapping to go along with that. And if you're new to tapping, I'm just going to quickly show you the points right now that we're going to use. And I might use slightly different points than what you've seen before. And then we're just going to get a little bit of intuitive information from you, and then we're going to do the tapping too. So whenever I do EFT tapping, I do kind of put my own little bit of a spin on it, but I basically follow the guidelines that I was trained with. So the points we're going to be using is the karate chop, just right there. If you were to do a karate chop, it's that point right there. We're going to be using the wrist point, which is about 2 fingers just below your wrist right there. We're going to be using the eyebrow point, so right where your eyebrows start. If you hear noise in the background, my puppy is doing her thing, so hopefully it's not too loud. We're using the side of the eye, so that's right there. You can feel your eye socket when you do that. We're using under the eye, so again, just right at the bottom of the eye socket. Under the nose, that one's pretty easy. On the chin, right in there. And the point we're getting to when we're tapping right here is actually up on the roof of the mouth. So whenever I tap on this point, if I'm not being too vocal, I can also press my tongue to the roof of my mouth too, and that helps. And then we're going to be using right here on the collarbone. So you feel where your collarbone's at, you just go a little below that. Now we're going to be using this under the boob point. I can't remember what the real point is. Not a lot of people use this because it can be uncomfortable because you're going to have to lift up your boob to do it right there. So you're just right underneath your boob right there. And then we're doing under the arm, which is like kind of bra strap level right there. And it'll be a little tender if you're hitting the right spot, okay? But of course, I'm going to walk you through all of that as we're doing our tapping. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is, yes, you have your journaling already done. So you have it already complete, that the things that are overwhelming you or that you feel like you need to control or you don't know what's going on with that kind of stuff. So now I want you to write numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 down on a piece of paper. Just write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 down on a piece of paper. And the first thing I want you to do is have your list there nearby. And I want you to look at your list and write down number 1, how you feel, how it makes you feel to look at this list. And just be honest. It's probably not going to be great, but that's good because that means we can release it. So how does it make you feel to look at this list? I'll stay quiet for just a second so you can get that information. All right, so we're going to continue moving along. My puppy's having like a grand old time here. So we're going to continue on. Now, number 2, where in your body are you feeling that? So I asked you, how does that list make you feel? And when you're tuning into that, where in your body are you feeling that? Just take a moment, feel into that, and write that down beside number 2. Where in your body are you feeling that? And now next to number 3, what does it feel like? So how does the list make you feel? Where are you feeling it? And what does it feel like? Describe the sensation. If you guys can hear those elephant sounds, I actually thought that toy was broken, so sorry about that. All right, so you know how the list makes you feel, you know where in your body you feel it, and you can describe that feeling in your body just as best you can, okay? This is just for your own purposes. And then next to number 4, tuning into that feeling again and tuning into how that list makes you feel. How strong out of 10 is that? So you're just getting the intuitive, whatever pops into your head. How strong out of 10 are you feeling that right now? And then mark that down, 10 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. How strong are you feeling that right now? I hope this puppy thing kind of like calms down. This is real life. This is like still doing business at the same time of real life because this is sometimes how you have to do it. Okay, and I'll wait to do my meditation until she calms down some. So we're going to start the tapping right now, okay? And we are going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to be doing 6 rounds of tapping in this. So get comfortable. You may want to have some water nearby, Kleenex if you tend to leak or anything like that, okay? So we're going to start off with it. Now, we're going to use some fill in the blanks here, right? So whenever I'm showing you fill in the blanks, you're going to use So number 1, you wrote down how the list makes you feel. Number 2, you wrote down where in your body you're feeling it. And number 3, you wrote down describing the feeling. So we are going to be using those. So just kind of have those handy as well, okay? So tapping on the karate chop first. Even though I'm feeling, and then whatever you wrote down for number 1, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel it in my, and then whatever you wrote down for number 2, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it feels like, then what you wrote down for number 3, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And making sure to keep your breath even and steady throughout. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Just keeping the pace comfortable for you. The breath also helps release the energy. We're going up to the eyebrows now. Fear I'm not enough. Side of the eye. Feeling overwhelmed. Under the eye. I need to know what to do. Under the nose. I need control. Chin. All these fears. Collarbone. All of these doubts. I always find the collarbone a nice place to take a nice good breath. All of these doubts. Letting that come up. We're going under boob. Release and let them go. Under the arm. Allowing these to come to the surface now. Wrist. Release and let these go. I tend to yawn when energy's moving, so there's something releasing for me here too. Karate chop. It is safe to release now. Eyebrows. I'm feeling, and then whatever you wrote for number 1, I'm feeling. Side of the eye. I can feel it in my, and then whatever you wrote for number 2. Under the eye. It feels like, whatever you wrote for number 3. Under the nose. I release and let that go now. Chin. I'm feeling, whatever you wrote for number 1. Collarbone. I can feel it in my, whatever you wrote for number 2. Under the boob. It feels like, whatever you wrote for number 3. Under the arm. I release and let this go now. Wrist. All of this pressure. Karate chop. I release and let it go now. Back up to the eyebrows. Fear that I'm not enough. Side of the eye. Feeling overwhelmed. Under the eye. I need to know what to do. Under the nose. I need to control. Chin. All of these fears. Collarbone. All of these doubts. Under the boob. Release and let them go. Under the arm. I allow these to come to the surface now. Wrist, and I release and let them go. Karate chop. It is safe to release now. Right back up to the eyebrows. I'm feeling what you wrote for number 1. Side of the eye. I feel it in my, what you wrote for number 2. It feels like what you wrote for number 3. Under the nose. I release and let this go now. Chin. I'm feeling like what you wrote for number 1. Collarbone. I can feel it in my, what you wrote for number 2. Under the boob. It feels like what you wrote for number 3. Under the arm. I release and let this go. Wrist. All of this pressure. Karate chop. I release and let this go now. Back up to the eyebrow. I wonder why this makes me feel this way. Now on the next point, we're just going to use whatever intuitively pops into your head. It's because, just let anything come up for you here. And just focus on how you're feeling. Under the eye, I release and let this go. Under the nose, what does this remind me of? Chin, this reminds me of, and then just focus on whatever comes up for you. This reminds me of collarbone. I release and let this go now. Under the boob, all this trauma and pain. Under the arm, I release and let this go on a cellular level. Wrist, I'm asking for divine support now. Karate chop, release and let go. Eyebrows, I wonder why it makes me feel this way. Side of the eye, it's because, under the eye, I release and let this go now. Under the nose, what does this remind me of? Chin, I release and let this go now. Collarbone, release and let go of whatever this is reminding me of. Release and let go of whatever this is reminding me of, and all the trauma that I've been holding on to. And just keep breathing through it. Under the boob, all this trauma and pain. Under the arm, release and let go on a cellular level now. Wrist, asking for divine support now. Karate chop. Release and let go now. Now we're going to the top of the head. Just tapping on the top of the head. I am open to the possibility that it is safe to trust. Eyebrows. I'm open to the possibility. Side of the eye. I'm open to hope. Under the eye. I'm open to trust. Under the nose. I'm open to divine support. Chin. I welcome in divine support. Collarbone. I welcome in trust. Under the boob. I am open to trusting. Under the arm. I release and let go of all resistance. Wrist. I am open to divine trust now. Karate chop. I am open to divine trust now. Top of the head. I am open to trust now. Okay, and you just want to take a breath. And then you just want to check in with your number. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong do you feel it? Just go with intuitively whatever pops into your head. What do you feel like it is at a 10 now? So then what I want you to do is, if the number's still pretty high, you can go back and repeat this video again until you can start to get that a little bit lower. You want to have a drink of water. Tapping works way better if you're hydrated. And if your number has gone down to like 4 or 3 or something like that, then that's pretty good. And you can just reinforce that feeling of trust that you had, okay? So I hope this tapping video helped you to release some of that energy that was coming through with the list, and I will see you on the next video.